Good morning. It is a beautiful stormy morning just after a horrifically loud and torrential downpour. It's been really stormy and windy the last several days, but I love that, so I'm happy about it. We got beautiful gray storm clouds that I love as far as the eye can see for days. It's not miserably hot, so that's always a plus in July. So I'm happy about that. Anyway, what are we going to talk about on this beautiful post-storm morning? What are we going to talk about? Well, I know that last week was a bit down. It was a bit saccharine, but it needed to be said. This morning walk series is sort of like my inner monologue in some ways, and so I've been working a lot of stuff out as I'm getting older. I'm in my mid-40s. I'm facing the usual midlife stuff, facing mortality, facing that your best days have gone, facing that you've made a lot of bad decisions and thrown away a lot of your life on stupid hedonistic crap. You believed a lot of bad stuff, and now you're older and wiser. What are you going to do with that? That's a lot of what led to last week's talk. And we're going to continue with that a little this week. I want to talk about what you can do and what you can't do. And sort of in the early life, you focus on what you can do. And in later life, maybe you focus on what you can't do. Maybe it's something like that. But we're going to talk about what I think and feel right now, which is I'm facing the things that I can't do. The person I am now started around Gamergate. It started with internet culture, at least in my neck of the woods of internet culture, exploding with this, look at the corruption, look at the nepotism, look at the bioleninism, look at how rotten and crappy and full of shit and what shady liars all these journalists are. That's really where the person I am today started, was Gamergate 10 years ago. Some could even mark it back a little earlier than that, but 2014 is a good marker for that. So I was kind of engaged in this stuff a year or two earlier than that, but not really till post-Gamergate with the first great meme offensive in 2015 to help Donald Trump get elected. That's really when I became fully activated. So for the last decade, 10 years, I have been becoming who you know now on this channel. If you've been following me for years or even months, you have a pretty good grasp of who I am and what I'm about. That started around Gamergate. And we're going to talk today about what that means 10 years later. What it means. And I'm going to explain to you sort of why I take the stances I do on things and why it sort of seems like I've given up. And that's because I realize there are things I can't do. I can't sprout wings and fly up to these beautiful clouds. I can't do that. So I don't spend a lot of time dreaming about it. I've learned that I can't really change federal level politics. And like we talked about last week, I've also learned the hard way, I can't even change the way the people in my personal life think and feel about stuff. I can't do it. It's not in them to do. And if it is, I can't make it happen. And so my life is kind of changing because the last year or two, I've realized that no amount of the bloviating that I've done online, no amount of the pressuring and showing people data and showing people false history and trying to get people to look at the Twitter files, no amount of that has changed how the loved ones in my life and my friends view anything. None of it. And it makes me feel like a different kind of... It's a different kind of sad than I'm sad about wasting so much of my life on mind-warped hedonistic pleasure-seeking and all the dumb shit that a lot of young people do that I personally got invested in for almost a decade of my life. I wish I hadn't done all that, but this is different. This is not it was my shortcomings. This is I am frustrated with the shortcomings of everyone else and I can't do anything about it type of conversation. And it's not that I'm unthankful to have the family and friends and community I do here. It's wonderful here. I love it. But the mindset of people, like young and old here, it's like they haven't paid attention to what's been going on at all. They think it's the 80s and the 90s still. And God love them, I wish I could be that way, but I can't. And so there are a lot of things I can't do. And I'm just having to embrace that. And in pursuit of that, I think that I'm going to stop being so socially active online. I don't get anything out of it. The people I'm socially active with online, they don't enrich my personal life. They don't help me feel better about things. I love my internet friends, especially the few that I've had for like 8 to 10 years. There's a couple of them still. I like these people a lot. I wish them the best, but for like a decade, I have been so active on social media, emails, getting invested in people's channels and trying to either help them grow or help influence them, just to try to spread the messaging that I think is necessary. And I feel kind of bad about that, because maybe I have helped, like, in the big picture. Maybe I have helped. You know, there are thousands and thousands of people activated today that wouldn't have been activated 2 years ago. But did I help with that? I kind of feel like things like the COVID lockdowns and the vax mandates did more than I ever could. So it sort of makes me think, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life and my time? Maybe I should just invest in people around here and just become old and just stop. Because going to the Old Glory Club event a few weeks ago, it really made me realize my age and where I'm stuck. Because these people that I met, most of them were younger than 30 or right around 30. They had their acts together. They were building businesses and families and stuff. Really motivated, talented, successful young men, like 100 of them. They don't need me. They don't need me at all. They would be there doing that stuff without me. They're going to be there doing that stuff tomorrow if I disappear. What do I get out of it? Nothing. I get personal satisfaction that I'm connected to people that have understood and realized the things I do and are doing something constructive about it. But that don't help me in my personal life now, does it? That doesn't hold my hand when I'm sick. It doesn't sit with me when I'm old and do crossword puzzles and watch TV, does it? No, it don't. So, I'm not saying I'm going to quit my channel and stuff. I like doing this for a living. I like doing Discordant Dragons. I like doing Empire of Lies. And I like covering stuff and just throwing in my 2 cents on what's going on. I enjoy that. So I'm going to keep doing that. But when it comes to socializing in my personal life, I think it's time for me to kind of be done with the internet when it comes to dicking around on social media and trying to be a part of things and sending people PMs and DMs and emails trying to influence them to use this language and say this thing or cover this topic. I'm just sick of that. I don't get anything out of it, and it just gobbles up all of my free time. When I could be investing in friends and my cousin and the couple of friends I have left, or my husband's friends, or doing something enriching with my mother in her final years. Because she probably ain't going to live much longer. She, like a lot of boomers, she don't take good care of herself. She drinks soda all the time, the high fructose corn syrup soda, eats fast food all the time, just doesn't have a good diet at all, doesn't get good exercise. She probably ain't going to live a lot longer. And so, I do love her, so I could spend more time with her. Like, there are things that I could do with those morsels of my time, instead of just fighting the culture war on the internet via social media and stuff like email campaigns and things like that. That stuff, I guess, has mattered. I'd like to think it did, but it hasn't mattered personally for me. I don't have anything to show for all that time. The hundreds and thousands of hours that I've spent online, talking to people and going to groups and listening to people, going to dissident telegrams and discords and whatnot, hearing about, oh, we got this plan and we're doing this, and here, listen to this. Oh, look, here, we found a new thread for Jewish corruption and blah, 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 blah. Or, hey, look, here's some stuff about how the moon landing was fake and all this crap. Like, the amount of garbage that I have had to sort through and still have to sort through to do internet stuff, I'm just sick of it. It's not enriching my life. It just makes me constantly wound up and not fulfilled. So I think I'm going to stop most of it. I think I'm just going to stop. I mean, some of my friends, some of my online friends, they might miss me, but it's not like I'm going to cut them out of my life and be like, I'm never going to talk to you again because you're an internet friend. That's not what I mean. But I think that I'm just going to not let myself socialize on the internet much anymore. I just don't think it's good for me. I know that's weird because I work on the internet and I have an internet personality, but I don't know, man. It's just, I'm old now. I'm in my mid-40s, and 50 is right around the corner. And I feel like I just need to start investing in what I have, what I physically, emotionally, personally have, and start nurturing that. Or I'm sabotaging my older years when I'm going to be my most weakest and vulnerable, when I'm going to be my weakest and most vulnerable. And maybe that sounds pathetic, but maybe when you're my age, you'll think differently. I hope that if you found my channel and you're a lot younger than I am, you won't make the mistakes I've made. You will invest wisely in loved ones and children and family and personal community building and create something good for yourself and for your children. I hope that you don't make the mistakes that I made. And like I talked about last week, those who can't teach. And so this week it's just more about sort of facing what I can't do. What I can't do is change people. What I can't do is change the government or change the media narrative or stop the horrific war machine crap and the Israeli/Jewish/Zionist control of government and media and stuff. I can't really do anything about that, can I? I tried for years. I can't do anything about that. It's one of the reasons I like the go free method and the white well-being stuff. That's something new, at least, and it seems effective. So that's something new and effective. So that's something I can easily do in my personal life. And so that's okay. Like, I feel successful about that stuff, but even doing that stuff online, it's not fulfilling to me, and I'm not going to do it anymore. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to abandon all my social media. I'm going to keep it, of course, but I'm just not going to go out of my way to, like, fight social battles or culture war battles and stuff on the internet anymore. I'm not going to hang out in groups or chat groups that are fighting the system or whatever. I'm just tired of it all, man. Like, I'm just sick of it. They say that activism is a young person's game. Maybe that's only true for leftoids, but, like, I view this not as activism, but as fighting in a war, and it's exhausting. Because I take it fucking seriously. And if I didn't take it seriously, I wouldn't be doing this stuff. So, I don't know. I'm going to walk back over here because it's so pretty. But, so that's where I'm at, and this is sort of a follow-up to last week, it's not that I don't really love and cherish all that I've built and the contacts I've made for the last 10 years. I do. And I'm still going to run my channels. I'm still going to do my shows. I enjoy those things. Those things are nice. And I'm glad I finally found a way to make enough money to get by doing something that I like. That's nice. I'm going to keep doing that. But when it comes to just spending my free time hours, letting my hours be gobbled up, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to wean myself off that and stop. Because there's real people in my life that love me, or that if they don't love me, they're my friends that I've had for years and years, like since I was a child. Some of them, they're still in my life, kinda, and I'd like to nurture my friendships and stuff with them, doing stuff with them, playing with their kids. One of my friends is about to be a grandfather. I didn't even know that until yesterday. Everybody else in my life knew that weeks ago. I didn't know, because what do I do with my time? This. So anyway, I'm going to invest more of my time in people around me. And I'm just going to do my best to try to have a quality life and get some fulfillment. Because the last 5 or 6 years since I've been doing this channel full time and doing the culture war stuff full time, I really suffer from a lack of fulfillment and a lack of anything personal. It's all impersonal. It's all movement-based and culture-based and social-based and big group versus big group and big group problems. And I'm just tired of all that, man. It's exhausting. So I'm going to keep doing my channel stuff because I love it and I like making money. So I'm going to keep doing that. I enjoy it. So if I hang out with you or talk to you a lot online, you can expect that to start to dwindle, because I'm just tired of it. I don't want to spend what little free time I get investing in that stuff anymore. I'm just not going to do it. So I hope this will be a healthy thing for me. I hope so. Maybe I'll pick up a hobby again. I don't know. Maybe I'll start fishing, or go back to painting miniatures, or making artwork, or doing watercolors again. Like, I used to do so much stuff. Like, pre-Gamergate, I used to have so many activities. I painted miniatures. I did sketching and drawing. I did watercolor landscapes. I used to love to go hiking and fishing. But around Gamergate, all that stuff stopped. I just became obsessed with this culture war. And that's been the last decade of my life. And my personal relationships have suffered for it, because I took it upon me to fight this war for them. And they don't even know there's a war. So of course they can't thank me. Of course they can't celebrate me. Of course there's no fulfillment there. And I had to learn that the hard way. It's not that I wanted glory or a statue built for me or anything. It's not that. But ask yourself, what young man would join the military if his family didn't even know that the military or wars existed? How many young men would stay a part of the military if that was the case? So just think about that. Like, that's sort of where I'm at. Like, I felt like I was fighting this war, not just for my people, meaning my local ethnicity. I was fighting this war for what I believe is true, for what I want to preserve about the Western and Anglo way of life, and for our race at large, for Western civilization at large. So, I just learned the hard way that that's really unfulfilling. For me, maybe not for you, but for me, living here with the people in my life, it has been massively unfulfilling, and I feel like I have kind of self-sabotaged in spending so much of my time on this culture war crap the last 10 years. I feel like it has created chasms in my personal life that are going to take me a while to fix. But I'm going to start working on it, and you should too. Don't be obsessed with this stuff like I was. Don't let it consume you. Do something better with your time. Don't make the mistakes I've made. And just speak the truth the most clever and best way you can to influence people. But don't go out of your way. Don't care. Like, if you want to continue fighting the social war on the internet, more power to you. If you get fulfillment out of that, go ahead. But it ain't for me. I'm going to keep doing my shows because I like my shows. They're me. They're my creations. I like doing them. I like the presentations with Chris. I like Discordant Dragons. It's fun. It's interesting. And I enjoy it. I'm going to keep doing that. But that's really it. Maybe some different video series one day. I don't know. But I just don't want all of my time gobbled up by this war anymore. And a big part of that is stopping myself from associating with the people who are just constantly wound up about it all the time. And that's just where I'm at. So we're going to wrap it up there. It's a beautiful morning. As you can see, it is still gorgeous storm clouds. The sun is peeking up in the distance. So we have some nice pinks and some pastels over here. But we're going to go ahead and stop the video where we started there at that old fence and that old gate. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I wish you all the best. I wish our people the best at large. And I need to focus on wishing myself the best, because myself is who I've neglected most in this last 10 years of warfare, and I've suffered for it. But I need to be done. I need to retire from that stuff up here. I need to let that stuff go. I'm getting old now. I got to focus on myself and my loved ones. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you next Monday night for more Discordant Dragons. Have a wonderful 4th of July weekend, everybody. God bless.